The Steam Engines of Oz is a pretty decent film for a one-time watch. This is an animated feature film from 2018. It's written and directed by Sean Patrick O'Reilly, and it's based on The Steam Engines of Oz by Erik Hendrix, Sean Patrick O'Reilly, and Yannis Roumboulias, and I apologise if I've mispronounced that. And we have a voice cast including Ashleigh Ball, Erik Hendrix, Scott McNeil, and various others. And this one takes place 100 years after The Wizard of Oz, and the Tin Man is in charge, and he's making decisions that are threatening the magic of Oz, and they have to try and stop this from happening. And it focuses on a character called Victoria, and also some other iconic Wizard of Oz characters. And in general, as a concept, I quite like it. I think there's a lot of food for thought here. I think it raises a lot of interesting points. I'm not sure if the narrative itself is going to be the most appealing to younger viewers. I could be completely wrong about that. I think also just basing that on what I would have been interested in as a young child. So I think it might depend on preferences. But I guess the point there is that I don't think it would have appealed to me that much when I was younger. But certainly as an adult watching it once, it was quite an interesting enough story. It's well written. The Tin Man has quite an interesting backstory. He's definitely quite an interesting character. So we have an interesting enough narrative. It's very well written. There's a lot of substance to it. It never felt underdeveloped. As I said, at least for me personally, I don't think I would have cared much for the story as a child, but I think that's more of a personal preference thing. The characters are well written. The voice acting is great. The animation quality is fine. It's definitely not my personal favourite animation style, but I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with it either. And in general, I thought it was good fun for a one-time watch. If you're a fan of The Wizard of Oz, then obviously I'd say it's worth watching. It's an interesting way to have a fresh story in Oz with some recognisable characters. If you've never seen The Wizard of Oz, I guess you could still watch it. I guess you'd still be able to follow it and understand the basic premise, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I don't think the appeal would be as strong. But nevertheless, if you haven't seen The Wizard of Oz, I thoroughly recommend it. And in general, The Steam Engines of Oz is a pretty decent film. I probably wouldn't watch it a second time, but as a one-time watch, I thought it was a decent story. We have well-written characters, good voice acting, an animation style that's absolutely fine, all things considered. It's not a bad film, and I'm happy to recommend it.